and even informed us that his booth was apparently not soundproof. After all, the problem has been resolved. Whatever it was, it's now fixed. And we already have gas here going down for SC. MMA so far didn't take a refinery. He still might do it, but we have gas first for SC, which already indicates that he wants to be very aggressive in this game.
Yeah, this is what he's known for, his aggression in all matchups. I mean, I'm thinking we're probably going to see some sort of drop play out of him. Banshee play has kind of disappeared out of this matchup. You still see it from time to time, but it's usually a delayed Banshee and not the Banshee opening or a Cloaked Banshee opening like the standard one we've seen, simply because Widow Mines and Marine drops, and even Hellion drops with Marines, seem to be so much stronger these days. Potential for damage is oftentimes higher.
And there's the gas now also for MMA, so he's not going into any kind of early expansion here. It's really common for Terran players to take the gas quite fast in Heart of the Swarm right now. The Scout is already out on the map, and MMA tries to get into the main base of his opponent, which is of course not going to be a problem for him.
Yeah, and goes in. Super easy to scout a gas first unless it's a 4-player map. So SC knows that he's going to be scouted, and he's fine with that.
Yeah, SC in this situation, of course, he couldn't really avoid it. As soon as an SCV is being sent out, you know that your opponent will see what's going on because you don't have a Marine ready to repel the SCV. Placing down the second supply depot is also something that you usually don't want to do because you have to delay everything else in your base, especially the mining.
Yeah, very true. The SCV gets out home free, gets out before the Marine comes, so now he's going to respond by getting a Viking out as soon as possible. MMA, that is, because he knows that he's going to either face a drop or a Banshee, so having that Viking out is so useful. Can even, of course, be useful against Hellions. And look at that, a very fast second gas goes down for SC as well. Yeah, really fast. And he could still go into some kind of Banshee play with Cloak. It's something that has been falling a little bit off the grid since we have Heart of the Swarm, because there are so many more options for players now what they can use in the game. But it's still a very deadly build if you know how to execute it and if you do it well. And look at that, he's already made the tech lab. He's going to start the starport directly on top of it so he can get the Cloak out as fast as possible. It's the fastest possible Cloak Banshee you can get. And this is a build that, like we said, is falling off the grid a little bit, but it also makes it a little bit more surprising. And that's something that he may not expect after scouting gas first. He may be thinking, okay, it's going to be some sort of drop play, I'll get my Marines in position, then suddenly he's going to face Cloak Banshees and be totally caught off guard.
In the situation that we have right now, we have, of course, MMA in a position where he has to be really careful here. He's, by the way, also the older of the two players. He's 24 years old, whereas he is just 18. Something that I actually didn't know that. I actually looked it up earlier today, and I was a little bit surprised to see that he's only 18 years old. I thought he would already be in his 20s.
Yeah, same. I remember this happened to me, I think, when I was casting with Doa a long time ago. Doa told me all this. Whoa. He's super young compared to what most people think. He's a very resilient player. And there's the Cloak, as expected. Starts the Banshee first, and by the time the second Banshee is out, Cloak will finish.
Exactly. And of course then we will see if MMA is prepared, if he will have some detection on the map. One of the things that has to be said about MMA, we said this about live earlier, MMA is one of the few players, one of 3 players who achieved the Triple Crown, which means he has won major championships not only in Korea but also in North America and in Europe. He was the first player to ever do so, and was then joined by MVP, and the third player that achieved the same is actually Life.
Yeah, that's actually a very important thing to note. You know, winning in multiple regions is so impressive to do because there's so many different playstyles, so many different types of players that go to those events.
Yeah, it's completely crazy. I mean, to pull this off, you have to have such a massive amount of skill, and it's really, really impressive. That's quite the achievement.
Yeah,
there should actually be a Battle.net achievement for that.
There should be, man. There's there should be a lot more achievements on Battle.net for these pro gamers so they get special decals and stuff. But here comes that Banshee now, and the Viking is just going to pop out perfectly in time. Cloak is not ready, so he has to be very careful. Can he buy enough time? It does not look like it. It looks like the first Banshee will fall with doing no damage.
Oh my god, not a single SCV killed. He was not able to fly away fast enough. The second Banshee now coming in. Cloak will be ready for the second one, but by now MMA knows exactly what's going on. He will definitely have a few scans available to grant attack.
Yep, SC's command center is very late as well, so this is going to become a problem for him. Already MMA moving his command center down the low ground, so he needs to do some sort of damage with this. And now that he knows Banshee's there, he's got a Raven on the way and he's saving scans, so this Banshee should do probably nothing as well. He's just going to hit that perfect scan with his Marines and the Viking.
Yeah. There's already the Marines and the Viking just trying to zone out the Banshee as much as possible. The Hellions arrive at the top left now, trying to do some damage there. Their Widow Mines in position.
Yep, and it looks like he actually will be able to break through this.
Yeah, he's breaking through. He can deny the expansion a little bit longer. There comes the Widow Mine though. Ooh, nice. 2 kills already. And the third Hellion is nearly dead.
That was well done. The Banshee's still going strong on the main base, by the way, over on the other side of the map. Yeah. And with this, he's actually racked up a few kills. 4 kills already, 5.
More than I expected. Gets another kill now. Is already on 6 and took down another SCV. 7 kills for the Banshee. No, actually, it's 6. Well, one of them was probably a Marine.
Yeah. Well, consider that the reason why I think he was able to get so many kills is because the Hellions were being microed on the other side of the map at the same time, and I think he kind of forgot about the Banshee. He faked Cloak as well, so SC may think that he's going to face a counter Cloak, so he starts his own Raven as a response. He saw the Caduceus reactor, but he didn't realize that's what it was. And so therefore, he's going to get his own Raven out just to be safe. We have Stim for both players, but a very interesting composition for MMA. He's gone heavy into the Hellions. He has 6 of them on the map right now.
Yeah, he already tried to attack earlier with them, but the big problem that he had to face were all those Widow Mines that were not only on the ramp, but also guarding the expansion itself. So that was a really nice defense by SC that he set up there, and it worked so well. Just think about what would have happened here if he would have relied on bio units only. The Hellions would have probably taken them apart.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, with all the resources he committed, and with his gas first towards those Banshees, he had very few Marines on the ground, so the Widow Mines were such a great response. And this is so interesting that he makes this many Hellions. You normally see just a few Hellions come out at first, and then you switch to the Siege Tanks as fast as possible. And I wonder if later on we may see him transform these into Hellbats. I don't think so, because he has so few of them, and in TBT that's not normally what you see, but it's possible he uses them for drops later on as well.
One of the things that we just saw was a Widow Mine burrowing to the top right of SC space, and this Widow Mine is a defense against drop play. You cannot take down a dropship, a Medivac, with only one Widow Mine. That's not possible. You need something else that does damage. Usually that's achieved by having a Viking ready, because one Viking shot and then the Widow Mine can take down a Medivac with no problem. There it already is, one Viking nearby. So as soon as the Medivac tries to boost in, the Widow Mine will be triggered, will get the shot off, and then the Viking is going to finish the job.
Exactly. You know, sometimes you see it paired with a turret as well, but the Viking is the more versatile option. This Marine will hold the Watchtower, and the SCV goes down. Unfortunate for that, SCV doesn't get to see much of anything. And he's just using the Hellions to control the map right now. Later on, when he gets a few Medivacs out, he can drop them. But like you said, with the drop defense in place, it's not going to be easy.
You know, with all those kills that SC gathered with the second Banshee, he's now in a position where he's actually very, very close to MMA, not only in the Harvester supply, but in overall supply too. It looked very much as if the opening of the FXO player would completely be crushed by MMA, but the second Banshee really saved him.
Yeah, it really did. That's so important. He also was able to kill his Hellions, which wasn't too bad for him. If you look at the upgrade advantage, though, that we have for MMA, that's really important, because if they have any sort of skirmish or engagement with their Marines early on, he's going to have, you know, so much of an elite. And here's that Widow Mine going to come into play here.
Exactly. Here's the drop and the Widow Mine, and the Widow Mine doesn't get the shot off.
Yep, he didn't stay in the threshold long enough to activate it.
Yeah, SC actually a little bit too eager to take this dropship down. He showed the Viking a bit too early. A bit too soon. The Widow Mine could have definitely been triggered here if he would have just stayed to the left a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit trigger happy there. Well, there's the armor upgrade started faster for MMA as well, so no second eBay down just yet for SC, and this means that he's going to get further and further behind with his upgrades.
Yeah, that's the one advantage that MMA really has here. He also will have a bit of a faster command center, a third one that is.
Yeah.
But SC is now the one who decides to move out. Could catch those Hellions, and yes, he gets all of them. Close.
Very close. Army supply is actually in SC's favor right now, and he could try to take this fight.
The siege tanks have to siege up here. MMA siege tanks are already in position, trying to bait in the Marines of SC.
This is a very tense moment. He already has the siege up position on that watchtower. There's no reason for SC to try to attack into this. He has to go around.
Both players have a Raven that they can use for point defense drones later on, also for a few auto turrets if need be. We have the Viking lead on the other hand for MMA here. This will grant him a little bit of vision, because as in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, it's still true that siege tanks can shoot quite farther than they can actually see.
Yeah, very true. And that's why watchtowers are important as well in these types of positions. Again, the faster siege up for MMA. He's always got that defensive position, so it makes it hard for SC to actually maneuver his army and capitalize on that army advantage that he had. And look at the upgrades once again. The armory is only 2/3 done for SC, whereas +2 is already on the way, and he's going to finish up that armor very, very soon. Yeah. MMA, that is.
That's a very big problem here for SC. MMA, given time, will get farther and farther ahead. Here comes the Seeker missile right now, sending one in to take out a tank.
Oh, but he loses his command center, and this is huge. That's 400 400 resources lost, and he's got a better position now.
Exactly, the position. That's what we talked about earlier. A very positional play here. He had to use the stim, but he went in, took down the command center, and now suddenly MMA finds himself in a position where he is short one orbital. So this means that he can't produce as many SCVs as his opponent. He can't get the extra mule or the extra scan out, and he also will not be able to saturate a base as fast as the FXO Terran.
Exactly. Meanwhile, SC is actually sending his command center down, and it looks like we're going to have a small engagement here. MMA wants to take it.
The siege tank is being targeted once again by a Seeker missile. The siege tank goes down. Very nice play here by SC, moving those Marines back, and he took out the Raven.
Yeah, that was very technical play by MMA. He's making really tough choices with his energy, and he's working it out. And look at this. SC goes for a auto turret drop. Very rarely see this, but he's going to take out several SCVs and even delay a depot.
Yeah, and those Vikings of MMA actually don't try to chase down the Raven.
Yeah, Raven escapes. This double drop could be a problem. There is one Widow Mine in place.
One Widow Mine is not enough.
Not enough at all. Need to send those Marines back right away. He's got Marines close.
Here they are. The drop for MMA is going strong, taking down quite a few SCVs and now doing damage to all those Marines. On the other hand, the Medivacs didn't really get a lot of healing done because they were already damaged earlier on.
Beautiful scan here.
Down.
Yeah, as you said, it's all true. The scan here is so important because now he knows they need to siege up. If he had waited just a second there, MMA could have actually taken this fight and maybe countered and killed that command center.
MMA now in the position where he's behind in supply, 150 against 170. He still has better upgrades than his opponent.
Yeah, he does, and that's going to be a big problem for SC, who has not even started armor just yet.
Well, a few of those Marines a little bit too eager to start the fight, and they have to pay for it.
That Viking that's flying above the hill here is so important. It gives so much vision to MMA. If SC wants to be able to fight, he has to use scans.
But SC is already mining from the third base, and we still have the Raven as highlighted by Legend here to the right side of the map. Could always drop another auto turret if need be to
or
disrupt the mining at the third base.
Exactly. A double kill on the Vikings. He's using this medevac now for vision because he's so desperate to see what's going on over there. Looks like we're going to have an identical auto turret drop here in the main base.
Yeah, taking out the Marine, and it also will make sure that at least a few of those SCVs mining gas will die.
But he loses the Raven. This is unfortunate for him.
MMA actually in a position where he didn't lose too much to this auto turret. He was immediately present with a few units, and that was very important.
Yeah. MMA has this cool position now because SC has to be very focused on this one hill, whereas MMA can now move across the other side of the map because he has control of the Watchtower. So if he wants to, he could go for a really nice surprise flank from the left side.
And he really has to do something. He's still behind in supply and behind in the game. Of course, this upgrade advantage that he has helps him. But now suddenly SC comes in from two sides, takes down those siege tanks. And this is awful for MMA. He's trying to go for the counter-attack, but his army already suffered severe losses.
Yeah, and he was spotted as well. He has to run. There's a beautiful scan again from SC, identifying, are you staying or are you running? You know, fight or flight here. MMA chooses the flight. He still has that upgrade advantage, but it is being narrowly closed by SC, who's about to have the same upgrades. No 3-3 just yet for MMA. He doesn't have the resources to afford it just yet. He doesn't even have his gases up at his third.
And for the XM player, the income is just so much worse than for his opponent. We have a discrepancy in harvesters. There is, of course, the third base that was available much longer for SC than was for MMA. There is not even gas taken at the third for the XM Acer player. So SC playing a really good game here, very positional.
You know, it's all about the scanning a lot of the time for SC. He's able to scan and know exactly what his opponent is. When he scanned that army, he said, oh, most of your army is somewhere else. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to crush this army and then try to zone out your other army. So he scanned again, finds the army, knows exactly where he needs to be.
Very true. Information, that is exactly what he gathers here, trying to find out where the army of MMA is positioned. And MMA is trying to move in with a flank. He sees the dropship, but he can't take it out. He's going into the mineral line on the other hand, trying to take down the one command center. That is the mass repair. Can he do it?
It looks like he will barely target it down, and he has to get away though, and he does. Now he can go into the main base. This is beautiful by MMA. There's only a few Marines here. It's not enough.
That's not enough Marines to take down those two dropships. Immediately the drop, and then the rest of MMA's army is now trying to get a good position at the natural third base of his opponent. Dropships finally being taken out here, at least the Marines.
So beautiful by MMA. SC couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to defend his natural or his third base quickly enough, and that's what MMA was able to capitalize on. He's just taking small skirmishes on the map now.
Exactly, and he also remembered that there was a dropship of SC heading out, so he had a few Marines in position to intercept the force of his opponent that was trying to target on the third base.
Now, the army supply for both players is insanely high right now. The SCV count relatively low. It's 136 supply in army for SC versus 131 for MMA, so very similar. And the upgrades, again, are starting to be better for MMA. He hits his armor upgrade faster than SC.
Exactly. SC lost his advantage. He had an advantage as long as he had this third base. He was a little bit ahead of MMA, but now MMA, with this nice flank that he set up, is suddenly able to pull a bit ahead because he has the better upgrades. He's already going into the second upgrade for his siege tanks, whereas his opponent didn't even start his own. Oh, that's actually not true. He's nearly completed. No.
Yeah, just going to finish that one.
Still ahead, though.
Still ahead, very much so. And as you can see at the bottom of the screen, our game heart, the upgrades are always highlighted, so you guys are very aware of where the upgrades are, even if you don't see them on screen. And we have another big attack by MMA. He's just so map aware. He sees the opportunity, but he waits. He hesitates.
Go in, and he does it. Can he target it down? I think he will. No, he decides to
just
move back.
barely. If he had gone just a second or two earlier, it would have worked out for him. But again, he comes from the second flank, and this time SC is not ready. The siege up is better for MMA, and he's got to live.
He already has the siege tanks in position. There's no way for SC to mine from this base for quite some time now. MMA with a great position here. But you're so right, Wolf. He could have taken out the fourth base of his opponent earlier, but he didn't realize that the command center was there. He didn't expect it to be there.
Now the planetary is ready. He's going to go for it again. But with the repair, he may be able to hold it off. There's no siege tanks in this mix. He needs a repair, though, on that 9 o'clock base.
Oh, and he does. The planetary fortress is enough. He's trying to target down those SCVs, and this is the best thing that he could do in this position.
Yeah. This is such a great game that we're watching. So positional. Both players constantly moving around on the map, picking at different forces, trying to force lifts on command centers. It's all about the zoning. Every time you see those big balls move around the army or on the map, that's just zoning.
And MMA just shut down another drop attempt by SC. He's really building up this bank too. He has the upgrade advantage right now. He's on 3-3 against 3-2, and he has the better upgrades for the siege tanks as well. Already started +3 attack for the tanks. So in a very good position here for the Acer player.
Yeah, his upgrades are really starting to wear SC down. So many of those medevacs for SC also low on hit points, as you guys can see when they're highlighted there.
And also quite crucial, the sensor tower in the middle of the map. Really important here for the position.
Yeah, and he also holds the watchtower. Well, if he wants to, all he has to do is send one Marine on it. The Vikings are giving him vision enough, though. Yeah, the Vikings are enough for him, and he's moving in with the siege tanks now, setting those Marines in position. And he's trying to force SC back, and he's able to do so. He's running in with the Marines, he's stimming them, trying to take down those tanks, and he's able to do so. He has the upgrade advantage. Don't forget, SC's armor is not ready yet.
And SC, he's losing tanks, and he's always trying to take out this force of MMA, but every single time he approaches, he's being shot down by all those tanks that are sieged up.
Oh, the MMA wants to go for the killing blow. He stims in. He's got the early stim, takes out the last of the siege tanks. Retreats again, trying to bait the Marines back in, but SC holds, puts his units on hold position.
The siege tank count is so much better for MMA. 9 siege tanks against 4, and he's leapfrogging forward with his tanks, getting them into a better position and putting more and more pressure onto this command center of his opponent.
A lot of this is about the vision that the Vikings grant. He's always able to get the first siege tank shots off because he has the vision. That's what SC is trying to use his medevac for, but he loses it.
Keep in mind that currently we have 4 mining bases for SC, whereas MMA has only 3. He has the additional command center, but he didn't place it down to one of the additional mineral lines. He's just now about to do so.
Yeah, he is. And there's a large force coming on the left side. He could do one of two things. He could go for a flank, or he could try to go for the planetary again. He has 2 choices. And SC's kind of a sitting duck right now. He has to defend this base. It's so important to him.
He's just backed into a corner right now, and he's trying to defend, he's trying to hold on, but it's so difficult against all these tanks of MMA. +3 attack for the tanks will be done in just a second. It's just finished, and SC is still on +1.
SC knows he has to split some units over to the left side. He has that sensor tower. He knows MMA is moving across. He wants to bolster his planetary's defenses here.
Oh, MMA stimming, moving in, trying to take down the siege tanks and the Marines, and he's in a good position to pull it off, but there's a little bit too much for the FXO Terran player. The siege tanks were in position for him.
Yeah, and it looks like ST will actually be able to take out not only the siege tanks, but the medevacs if he doesn't boost away at the last second there. This is such an amazing game we're watching. SC takes the supply lead again. He's evened up the upgrades in infantry, but he's still very much behind when it comes to siege tanks.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true. He's 2 upgrades behind his opponent, and MMA, he is now down in supply, and this is the chance that SC needs to utilize, and he's moving it. He's trying to capitalize on his lead and at least take down this 4th base for MMA.
Some hesitation here, but it's such careful micro by SC. He sieges up his tanks now. He's got a good angle. He has the siege up first.
Siege up first, the siege tanks for SC are already gone. The Marines are following suit. He's trying to drop on top of the tanks, but there are just too many reinforcements.
Wow, that was so beautifully executed by SC, but the defense of MMA was so patient as well. Doesn't get the command center, forces a repair, trades a little bit and backs off. The supply evens up a little bit. SC still remains about 10 up.
but he is still under a lot of pressure at his third base. The third base still under attack, but now SC, he's had enough. He's moving in with everything that he has. Stimps again with the Marines, takes out every single siege tank, and closes the deal on the medevac too.
Yeah, finally he's relieved this pressure. This is such an important moment in the game because now he can also take out the center tower of his opponent if he moves forward fast enough. He has the momentum now.
And he's trying to do it. The problem for MMA really is that he started with his fourth base very late in the game. Just imagine this one crucial point that we pointed out earlier. If MMA would have realized that there's a fourth base a little bit faster and taking it down, then SC would now probably be in a position where he couldn't recover anymore. But as it is, MMA is the one who's now on the back foot.
Exactly, and the better army supply goes to SC here. He's trying to use it to dominate the map. He's going to go through this attack here, but there's too many siege tanks. He scans, he sees it. I love this new ring on the scan.
Oh yeah, it's definitely so helpful. And the pathway here is just too narrow for SC to move in. Not against siege-up tanks. That is just not possible for him to pull off.
And it looks like we're going to have a small drop here, but...
Oh wow, that was really close. He nearly boosted right on top of those Marines.
Another scan goes down. Needs to back away, loses several Marines there. It looks like about 4 being killed.
Yep.
He's able to replace them instantly with the bank he's building. And as far as unit counts go, both players are pretty much identical in Marine count and siege tank counts. There's not much of an advantage either way. It's the only advantage that you can see visibly, when you look at numbers, is the +3 for the siege tanks of MMA. And then, of course, it all comes down to the engagements, the positioning, the siege up time, the splitting.
And also the 3,000 gas that he can't really utilize.
Yes.
That is actually quite impressive, accumulating 3,000 gas in this game. But the problem really is that he doesn't have the minerals to do anything with it.
Exactly. And, that gas is going to be important later on if this game goes on for, say, 10, 15 more minutes, which it likely will, considering where we're at right now in this game. This drop could do a lot of damage. SC does not have a lot of units back at home to defend. He only has 1 Widowmine in the main. There's nothing to defend that third base.
The siege tank line is there, and the drop is good. Going in, taking down SCVs, and of course the first thing that SC has to do is pull off all the harvesters. Not losing the command center though, but the medivac is boosting right into the main base.
Yeah, and it looks like that was actually a Marine in the main, not a Widowmine, so he could take out some of these reactors, which would actually really significantly hurt SC's production, but he gets 1.
He might get a second, not just quite.
Meanwhile, there's another big move out for SC. He wants to use this better army that he has, knowing the dropships at AFK.
Look how smart that was. He moves with the army to the right side, but he sends another few units to the bottom left so that he knows where his opponent is positioned. But now we have both of them just passing like shadows in the night, and suddenly we have a base straight.
Yeah, but MMA has the much better defensive position, I feel. SC only has 1 tank at home, whereas MMA has several. He was already prepared for the situation. He had already lifted his command center up.
Uh-oh, there are 3 command centers hovering in the air. MMA in a good position here. He already took down the natural of his opponent, and he moves to the 4th base, to the mining base of SC. This is not good for the FX Open Terran.
Yeah, FXO SC has more army supply, but his army is split up a little bit. Oh no! That was scary, but he will lose a lot of his harvesters. The command center goes down as well. He needs to get the siege up.
He has no mining anymore, Wolf. He has another command center that he could very well just put at one of the mineral lines, but this is a very dire situation for SC. This drop, on the other hand, is doing quite the job, going to the right side, making sure that MMA also has no mining.
Yeah, this is very intense, but MMA has that command center. He's moving down again to his 4th base. He's going to have it up there a little bit faster. SC is doing the same.
And let's not forget that we have so many additional command centers or orbital commands here for MMA. He can utilize those mules, while on the other hand, SC lost those bases.
SC has more Marines, but MMA has more tanks and they're better upgraded. Remember this. And so that means that MMA has the better strong defense when it's sieged.
SC is going to the gold right now. He realized that he has to take a little bit of a risk here. MMA with all those orbitals. Is he calling down the mules? Not just yet, but he's trying to move in to finish this game and finish SC off.
SC has a better position though with his armor right now. He could go in for the flank, and he does! The 2-pronged attack comes in from both sides. MMA is cut off by the siege tanks on the ramp.
MMA can't move in, and he knows it, but he has so many units there that he can take down the siege tanks of his opponent. He's stimming in once again. He's taking down tank after tank, and MMA suddenly finds himself in a supply lead.
Yeah, and he's on the high ground here. He's got the advantage, but he does not have the medevacs. I thought that he would for sure crush that army, but MMA just with so many Marines there.
MMA realized that he couldn't move to the right because of the sieged up tanks, but the one to the left, they weren't sieged up at all. So he just could move in and take them down, and now he's trying to apply pressure at the gold base of his opponent.
This engagement could decide the entire game. Will SC commit?
MMA is actually mining from 2 bases as we speak, and he is putting so much aggression onto the one last mining base of his opponent.
Yeah, there are 6 harvesters left only for SC right now.
And he doesn't have, he has one orbital command. One orbital command, but he needs to use scans instead of mules. He can't use mules right now. He can't spend the energy.
Yeah, this command center is under fire, but there's not enough Marines to target it down. Well, you know, he may very well barely get that. He needs a repair.
Yeah, well, he doesn't, but even if he would, it doesn't really matter all this much. There are still 2 additional mining bases.
Yeah, he's forced another lift on the base, though, to the bottom left, and he will kill this orbital, it looks like.
He can take out this one without a problem at all, but time is working in MMA's favor right now. He's the one still mining in this game, mining a lot more than SC. SC only able to mine from a few mineral patches.
Yep, takes out the siege tank. Nice attempt by MMA. He's just trying to deny any mining he can right now.
MMA is still not repairing this command center.
Yeah, if it burns down, this could actually change the game quite significantly because the base on the right side for him is mined out. It's not really a mining base for him.
You are right. He doesn't have mineral patches anymore, and he lost the base to the left side. Only 2 mineral patches are left, and is he losing the orbital?
Let me check.
Or did he start to repair?
I'm trying to check. I think he still has it alive. I think he's repairing it.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's kind of cut off a little bit from that gold base as well. He can't really get over there to pressure anymore. He has long distance mine going. He's going to try to take the base to the top right, but he's spotted by SC. SC could kill a lot of these harvesters here.
He's trying to. He's moving in. Where's the army of MMA? He needs to do something. MMA is actually losing the momentum that he already had gathered up. Here come the Marines finally moving in. MMA still has more harvesters than his opponent. He's actually doubling the harvester supply here. And don't forget, guys, he still has more energy that he could convert in mules. And that's exactly what he does. Dropping the mule hammer, and bam, this will definitely boost his income.
This is so interesting because SC knows he's got the better position here to attack that base, but if he does, it makes his force here weak. He goes in, though. He wants to target down the last siege tank, and he will get it.
There's only one siege tank, and he was willing to take that risk. Moves in, takes down the tank, and now we don't have any... Well, we actually have 2 tanks for MMA, but 9 tanks for SC. SC with a much better army here.
And he's using it. MMA's army has to walk all the way across the map before he can defend. He's losing his units that he's making from his barracks. GG!